you know, being successful in a college football program is a lot about sudden change. And we had a lot of sudden change when it came to training camp. We did not anticipate that we were going to have to move our entire operation to Huntsville High School. But due to the weather, which was very unique this summer, we were way behind schedule on putting our field in. And we have a philosophy: every obstacle is every adversity is every obstacle is an opportunity, and we took it as an opportunity. And what we found is that it was really good to get a lot of work later in the day when we would be playing 8 of our 12 games, and especially opening with Rice down in the hot and humid part of Houston. That evening humidity is just sort of unique. And I think we really benefited a lot from it. I think the kids handled it really well. Huntsville High School was awesome to us. And then we got to transition back to Sam Houston just last three days. So I think it was a really good training camp. I think our rosters definitely improved from last year. Does that mean more wins? We're hoping it means more wins. But there's no question this staff did a really good job finishing up the high school recruiting, getting a couple key portal guys, and again, putting ourselves in a position where we think we grew as a program. A lot of guys coming back, from last year, which is a positive thing, but I think we added just enough to, improve the roster overall. So it's kind of where we're at right now.
Let's go ahead and let our voice of the Bearkats, Carl Zimmerman, take the first question.
Morning, Coach. You talk about this summer and fall camp being a season of transition, a lot of new members to your staff, and you mentioned it briefly there. Just what other positive change have guys like Skylar Cassidy been able to bring to your program?
Yeah, I really have embraced some new ideas, and Coach Korn and Clayton Barnes, Coach Korn, our offensive coordinator, and Clayton Barnes, my general manager, and Skylar, my defensive coordinator, we have kind of sat down and looked at everything soup to nuts. Because the move to FBS has also met some unique challenges with travel and midweek games and short week games, and a lot of night, evening games and those kind of things. So we've, I'll say remade the program, but it was a kind of an overall. And I like the changes we've made. Also think we've done with the staff coming in late. I don't know if we could have recruited any better. I think we really added some talent to this team. This is a better roster than the roster we had last year. It's just a matter, now we got to go win those 50-50 games. But I literally think, every position on the field we're better at. Trevor Williams was a tremendous loss. But at the same time, as a group, I do think we're actually better at the linebacker position. So, yeah, we feel good. I mean, again, Rice is coming off a bowl appearance. Texas State, beat Rice in a bowl. Central Florida is a Big 12 opponent that we think, as time goes on, will be a favorite in the Big 12. I think, we think their growth opportunities are enormous. And then Hawaii is always a crapshoot. And then you have our conference. So it wasn't like we made the schedule any easier, but again, we feel that we have a better roster going into the season.
Let's get one from Colin Neal.
Coach, from spring to training camp, what has been the position group that has impressed you the most?
Probably defensive line. I think there's been some additions there. CK has played really, really well out there, and then he's battling Javon Leon for a starting spot, and then you got Isaiah Nixon on the other side, who's he's pretty tough to block. he's been a handful for our guys to block, and then we like the guys we've added inside. Denver Warren's come in and done a really nice job. And so I think we're greatly improved on the defensive line. And we lost 2 starting D tackles. And, say that, I think says a lot about, the way we recruited, the way we've developed some guys. So that's a position. Also, I would say, if you look at our wide receiver room, I think the wide receiver room has a chance to be as good a wide receiver room as there is in this conference. Noah Smith is back, all-conference player. Ife Day's back, who's an NFL prospect. Quavez Humphreys is an NFL prospect. We've played well, like our guys that are the depth guys that Simeon Evans has played really, really well. So the guys that you thought might, give you some depth have stepped up, and now you say, boy, Malik's playing well, and we got 7-8 guys, that we can turn to in that wide receiver room. So I like where we are there. I like the tight end room too. Adding Fernando from A&M was a big piece. We feel like we can go 2-3 tight end packages. At the same time, you can spread them out and go 4 or 5 wide receiver packages. So there's a lot of positions that I feel really good about. And like I said, overall, this team is definitely improved. It's just a matter of us going and playing and winning those close ball games.
Carlos, again.
Coach, one position group that I think has impressed me the most has been the offensive line and just how much they got. I mean, for one thing, I looked at it, and I think maybe outside of one, most of your offensive line has gotten above 300 pounds, which is obviously going to help against, the FBS line, which I think may have been an issue last year. Just what else can you say about that group?
Well, a combination. I think Kevin Schad coming in and taking over the strength program. I mean, we love Parker. Parker did a phenomenal job for us, Parker Whiteman. Kevin was with me at Delaware in 2007. Has a great reputation in the league, was at UTEP. They are very physical, has come in, and I can see a physicality that we are developing. Also, I have to thank, some of our alums, Don Sanders in particular. Don actually donated money so we could have milkshakes post-practice after every lift during the summertime. And we're also feeding them more. We fed them every single day during the summer, and we're feeding them every day during the season this year. So we've done a lot of things to kind of upgrade our nutritional aspect of our program. And again, I think we've done a great job in the weight room, getting bigger and stronger. But definitely my guys have remarked about keeping the weight on has been easier since we've added some of the nutritional aspects. Excuse me.
Blue Sky.
Hey, Coach. You brought in a couple transfers at the quarterback position. I just want you to talk about kind of the battle there, any inclinations towards one or the other.
Yeah, it's interesting. We just voted for captain, and then out of that captain group, if you weren't voted captain and you got double-digit numbers, we put you on our leadership council. And all 3 quarterbacks are on the leadership council, and in that double-digit grouping in terms of votes. So it just tells you a lot about how the players feel about the quarterbacks. I think all 3 can lead us. I think it's gonna this is a big week this week to kind of determine who we're gonna open up with on Saturday against Rice. But been really pleased with that position. I thought Keegan had a really good year last year, was a warrior. I think we're much deeper at that position this year. I thought Grant had a really good spring, and he understands the offense at such a high level. The ball comes out of his hand so quickly. He's got a little bit more strength to him, better velocity in the ball. Hunter is that athlete who plays quarterback, won a national championship at Iowa Western, and then Chase is a guy who's started at this level and has played well, and it sometimes has played like really, really well at a very high level. So yeah, I think we have 3 guys that are battling right now, and hope to kind of figure that thing out. Don't want to play multiple quarterbacks, but it's nice to know that there might be some packages available for certain guys if we decide to go down that road. So I like to pick a quarterback and kind of go with that guy and see if they can lead us, and then kind of figure it out as we go along. But generally, when I choose a quarterback, I want to put some faith in that spot. I don't want them looking over their shoulder. And so whoever we decide to go with, it's going to be like, okay, it's yours, and then we'll kind of evaluate as time goes on. But we don't want to have a quick hook, that's for sure.
Let's go back over to Colin.
Coach, y'all were able to get onto the new turf, with training camp ending. I just wanted to ask, what was it like going out on that field and seeing the guys practice back home at Bauer Stadium for the first time in quite a while?
It is, without exaggeration, the best field I've ever been on. I guess it's the top of the line. I think it's the same field that Michigan just put in their stadium. Our kids have been blown away with the quality of the field. We also went above and beyond, and we put some cooling pellets in there, which is makes it the highest end turf field they have, and it's supposed to keep the temperature down on those hot days, by 20 degrees or so. So nice to get back to our place. Like I said, I think we took advantage of the fact that we had to sit around all day and we had to practice in the evening, just like we're going to have to do 8 times this year when we play night games. And I think your body has to get used to doing that. And I think, forcing us to do that was a good thing. So we always take every obstacle and we look at it like, how can we make this a positive thing? And I think we made it real positive. But without question, it is great to be out on Bowers. Other thing I'll say is that by removing the track, the amount of space we have for practice is significant. And that was one of the big reasons. For us being a Division I football program, that could not be our practice facility. Now that all that space is available, it is more than enough for a practice facility. All the extra room on the sidelines, all the extra room in the back of the end zones is just tremendous. And again, it will change how we work because it's going to make practice a lot easier in terms of spacing.
And we talk about transitions. This is the first year where you're eligible for bowl games, a conference championship, and ultimately the college football playoff. And you talked a lot about how you've been impressed with how the staff recruited and the guys that you're bringing back. Is it safe to say that this program is not going to settle for anything less than being in the fight for the conference title?
Yeah, I think that's our mindset. We're a bowl team, and we want to win the conference. It's almost comical to think that you can even project what programs can do now with all the transition that's taking place. We probably have had less transition than maybe 95% of the teams in FBS football, but the amount of players that are leaving and coming in is staggering. And fortunately, we had very little attrition with our starting lineup. And so, we really felt what we did was just improve our roster. So the guys who left, we felt that we've improved those positions there. So feel really good about the roster. Now we just got to go win those tight games.
Let's get another one from Colin.
Coach, it was announced yesterday that y'all have scheduled a game against the Texas Tech Red Raiders in Lubbock. Just wanted to get your quick comments and thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think the way we want to eventually schedule, and it's been difficult because all this, a lot of people have had their schedule set for a while. And we love playing teams in Texas, love having Texas coming up, love having Tech. I think, those things are good for us. In an ideal world, you'd love to get that Power 5 game where, your kids can go play in a great atmosphere and your program can bring some money in terms of, a payday. And then you like to have an FCS game that you can have at your place, a game that you feel that 95% of the time you're going to get that win, and then have two 50-50 games. Those games where when you're really good, you're maybe winning both. Sometimes they're toss-up games. So that's what we're trying to eventually schedule to. And I think, when we get to the 26th season, I think we'll be at that position where we're going to have what would be considered 50-50 games, a FCS game, and also an FBS power 4.2 right now. Who knows what it's going to be down the road. But I like where we are going scheduling-wise.
Let's get one more from Luke.
Coach, obviously not playing SFA in NRG, and instead now Texas State, an old school rivalry there. How excited are you and the program is to going up against Texas State in a very stadium that's been very kind for us?
Yeah, I wasn't around for all the nonsense with Texas State, but I heard there was a lot of it, which just like when I got here, I wasn't around for a lot of the stuff with SFA. And there was a lot of with it that. So I think it's going to be a great atmosphere. We have the same fraternities they have. I know they're trying to put together some sort of fraternity row. I'm hoping our fans show up in great numbers. I think their fans will show up in great numbers. They have about a 10-year head start on us in this Division I stuff, but I think we're aggressively trying to make that move and catch up. But no, those are the kind of games that you have to have. Those Rice games, those Texas State games. Those are the kind of games that we consider 50-50 games. And again, they are coming off a bowl appearance. Have a really good football team coming back, and it's going to be a great challenge. But boy, we love playing down at NRG Stadium. That's for sure.
All right. Any other questions for Coach before we let him get on with his day? All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Yep, thank you.
See you next week.